Hello, everybody from around the world. You're listening to My Independence Report. This particular episode features Dolly May. Dolly is a consciousness consultant, a psychic, and is really gifted at what she does and can talk to you about things in your life that she can help you get better. We talked to some listeners and have a really good time during this episode, so I hope you'll stay for the entire thing. And also remember to follow us on Podbean so that you get updates as to when new episodes come out. And also, you're also always welcome to email me at kmradio@comcast.net. And with that, we're going to start the show right now. Hi, my name is Kevin McDonald, and I'm declaring my independence. Independence from what? Why, negative thoughts and energy, of course. Chief among them, hate, division, and fear. You see, I know that we're all one, and together we can solve any problem, save our planet and each other. Please, join me as we come together as one and choose a better way to be. So now, let's begin with my Independence Report.
Welcome back to the second hour of Positive Talk Radio. Dolly May is here. She's going to be with us for the whole hour. Dolly, how are you?
I'm wonderful.
You are delightful, too.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And you can give her a call, 425-373-5527 or 888-298-5569. And it's also Eric's birthday, so you can give him a call and we can wish him a happy birthday.
Wonderful.
D birthday boy.
D birthday boy ain't D happy about it.
Should we continue taking calls?
Yes.
I think we should.
All right, let's go ahead and talk to Kay and Burien.
Hi, Kay.
Hi.
What's your question?
My question is, I'm typically a very positive person.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, always busy, always joyful, but the last couple of years I've had some real challenges.
Right.
And I can't seem to get my joy back. And I'm thinking it might have to do with I don't have a man around, or I'm not sure what. And how long is this going to go on?
Until you stop it.
Pardon me?
Until you stop it. You are on the verge of breaking into yummy, happy joy. Your only thing that you are in charge of changing in order to shift this, and this can be done very shortly, is shift your focus. You are focusing on the junk that's been going on in your life. There's been a lot of it, granted, but it is past. You have little hanger-on parts that aren't finished up. Okay, fine. Everybody's got some of that stuff, and yours is better than most and worse than some. So you get to choose what you want to focus on, and you get to shift. Because here's the big truth in life, a big world, not a world, what's a universal law. What you focus on, you get more of.
Yes, but how am I going to know what to focus on? I'm having a hard time figuring that out.
Oh, how about love?
Well, I know that's the top of the list.
How about joy? Those are the only two that you would ever need to create focus on. Because if you are being the experience of love, not focusing on loving or being loved, like as in a relationship, as in, I can't have love in my life until there's a man around. So you've given away your power, you've given away your ability to create love yourself, and you're expecting someone to fill in the blank and make life okay for you. In other words, you have created victimhood thinking and a victimhood experience in your life. Now, that's okay. It serves you somehow, and maybe that's the place from which you're going to create a mate, and then you're going to get a mate that's a rescuer, and you're always going to be playing the victim role. Now, in the long run, that's not going to serve you. Certainly not terribly well, but it could serve you. But you have much more potential than that. What's your middle name? What is your middle name?
What is my middle name?
June. June, okay. See, you are a person that loves to be around the house and loves to be creative. You're highly motivated in those areas, in those arenas. And so, of course, you would love to be doing it for someone because you do relationships and that's what you like. So I'd say would say you're skilled in relationships. You get to choose what to focus on. Here's how you do it, okay? Here's the absolute how to do it. every half hour or hour of your life, you can even do this every 20 minutes, you literally stop and ask yourself, what am I thinking and what am I feeling? And you will realize how much of the times when you do this that you're focused on something negative or unhappy or unfulfilled or lacking. So you're giving energy and focus to lack. If you then in that moment say, okay, I caught it, I see what I'm doing, and choose to be the experience of feeling joy or love, one of the two. And so what you do is you recall times that you felt joy or love. And you recall the image, the memory, the whole experience of it, and then feel it. Just get caught up in the whole thing again. And you do that for 17 seconds. You shift your auric field. You literally shift the electrical energy around your physical body. When you do it for longer than 17 seconds, you shift to the extent that you become magnetic to that emotion. So you will become magnetic to joy or love. Then your life starts shifting incredibly because you have made yourself magnetic to depression, unhappiness, and victimhood. Do you see?
I do.
You are an extraordinary creator. Create what you'd prefer.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. You have a wonderful day. You do the name thing. How do you do the name thing? Because somebody says your name.
Well, it's based on numerology, but then
Okay.
there's many other parts of it. How will I show you how I do this so people can get it? The first letter of the name. If you know numerology, you every letter has a numerical value,
Okay.
1 through 9, and there's A through I is 1 through 9. J through what's something else? I don't know them that way. Is 1 through 9, and then the last 7 letters are 1 through 7. There's no 8 or 9 because there's only 26 letters in the alphabet.
Right.
So, or last one. I got my numbers off because I wasn't prepared to do this, so I'm getting it from out of my head. So each layer of numbers is levels of sophistication. So I should just draw this out for myself. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. That's 1 through 9. And so that's level 1. So that's very self-oriented. And then J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R is the second level. And that's very balanced as opposed to just being the I world, me, self. And then S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z is a third level, and that's an incredibly sophisticated level of experiencing. Now, it doesn't mean that if you're in the first level, let's say your name begins with A. It means that you are very focused on self. You are very aware of how self operates, and self gets put out there first.
Okay.
And it doesn't mean that you're a show-off. It just means that you have this consciousness that you carry about self with you. Now, the same is true if your name, first letter begins with S, but it's on a more sophisticated level. You're more operating on a larger perspective of self is pushed to a larger perspective. Do you see?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and each letter moves that way.
So what would my name be?
Okay, Kevin, Kevin. First of all, K and V are the 2 letters of mastery in the alphabet. K is an 11 and V is a 22. Those are mastery numbers.
Okay.
So usually people with K's and V's as the beginning letter of their name have some potential for mastery. Kevin's usually reach peak mastery, because I've been doing this a long time, I'm kind of like grouping this stuff. Kevin's usually reach peak mastery somewhere between their late 30s and early 40s. So they're like late bloomers. It doesn't mean that they weren't good before. It means that there's a fullness that happens, and they really come to an awareness of who they are. Also, since K and V's are, a V is a 4 and a K is a 2, a K has levels of codependency in it.
So what does that mean?
It means that you love being in relationship. Okay, that's really healthy.
Yeah.
But you need to be mated. It's almost like a need to be mated, a need to be in relationship somehow. So like many times, let's take the name Karen. Many Karens are in management positions at work.
My sister is a manager at work.
There you go.
Her name is Karen.
There you go. And the reason is they have a need to be in relationship too, so they do management stuff well. And they're usually very intelligent, and their codependency shows up in taking on everybody in the staff, everybody that works for them, taking on all their personal problems and filling in so that almost like rescuing everybody.
Good Lord, that like describes her to a T.
Yeah, and it can be a great thing, and then it can be carried to an extreme, and you have to create a balance in it.
And that, if you know that information going in, then you can help yourself create that balance.
Absolutely, because every name, every letter, everything has gifts and challenges.
Perfect. Well, you know what? We need to take a break, and when we come back, let's do Eric's name for fun, shall we?
Or the caller.
Or the caller who's coming right up. We'll be right back after these messages. Thank you for calling. Thank you for
watching.
I'm telling you what.
It's really a psychic show. They're watching.
You're listening to Positive Talk Radio. I have to tell you, and it's not often that this happens, but when we have an extraordinary guest who's in studio, and I have a wonderful group of people that who work with me here for Positive Talk Radio, and Brooke and Kristen and Nicole are all here because it's Eric's birthday, and Brooke baked him a cake, and we're having fun. But you're here, and so during the commercial breaks, they keep on coming in. Do me? What's my name mean? What numbers? What's my birthday? So they're it's really is a lot of fun. So that threw me off. Okay, there's just too much activity for me. It threw me off. So
it's great for me because when you start working in psychic and you start really getting the stuff flowing,
yes.
the faster it comes, the easier it is.
Absolutely.
And it just doesn't matter.
Oh, boy. And you're really good because you just nailed Kristen to a T. So
we should keep it going then.
We really should.
Keep it going.
First of all, how do we get a hold of Dolly May?
You can call me on my cell phone at 206-992-2074 or my website, www.dollymay.com.
And let's talk to Kat in Seattle.
Hello.
Kat?
Hi, Kat.
Hi, Dolly. Hey, see, listen, I'm very interested in having my name done, but I have a question for you.
Go ahead.
What if someone changes their name from their birth name?
That's a good question. And here's what happens. It used to take 7 years to move into the vibration of that name. You know, like when you got married, it was a 7-year itch because you were adding a whole different energy to you. And if it didn't sync, if it didn't work, sync, S-Y-N-C, if it didn't work and connect with you, that was why you split up after about 7 years. And it's interesting that you will note divorces happen usually in 7-year cycles of marriage.
Sure.
So but now I'm sensing that it takes about 3.5 to 4 years to move into a first name change or any kind of name change. So that when you're born, let's say your name, well, my name was Dorothy. And no one ever called me that. So I've always been called Dolly. So my birth name doesn't really mean a lot. It holds a certain energy and space. It's usually the name of a psychic, by the way. And so is Dolly. And so the name changed a little. Lots of the energy changed because it will change. So if you were born like Kathleen or Catherine and your name is Kat, then you have changed a lot of the energy if you are constantly and only called Kat.
Okay, what about the middle name?
It's a modifier to the first name, like an adjective. So it's kind of like saying, Dolly May. When I started using May, because it is my real name, but it's my middle name. When I started using it, instead of just the initial M, it has 2 more vowels in it. And I added a larger amount of emotional availability because vowels are your emotional availability and consonants are the solid part of you that frames things and doesn't let yourself go all emotional. That is why Hawaiian names and Hawaiian people are so emotional, all the vowels.
Oh, interesting. This is so interesting.
Yeah, it's not the only reason, but it is a huge representation of it. So you changed your name, obviously, from birth. Have you got a second question?
No, basically that was it. But see, I have changed my name from birth, and I did it more than 4 years ago. Mm-hmm. But I don't use my middle name much at all.
Right, so it isn't much of a modifier if you don't really ever use it, but the first initial will be because you probably use it.
I do.
Yeah, so that initial will tell me things. Because
Okay.
if every Bob isn't like every other Bob, I mean, that's a very common name. I've got to have the middle name. But if I'm really clicking and, been doing a few readings, then I'll get the Bob energy for that specific Bob. But they do have certain traits.
Now, what if your name is Catherine and you call yourself Cat with a C? Does that change anything?
Yes, if you're writing it with a C all the time, it changes some of it, but mostly it goes by sound because I can do this in any country, any language.
Wow.
And it's by sound mostly.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, it's a fascinating way to do it.
Kat, thank you so much for calling.
Oh, well, can she do my name?
I sure
she
can.
sure can.
Okay, but I'm a K. I'm a K-A-T.
Yeah, I wrote it that way. So again, that sophistication of codependency, so you kind of keep it in balance, but there's a need to be in relationship. And then the A in the middle is your only vowel, and it says, I am. I am. Present, centered, and I understand who I am. And the T is also a 2, and it's a level of, again, codependency. So, or connection, a duality, relationship kind of a letter. So for you, having the A as your only names and the A being in the center is how you operate from your center. And everybody's first name, the letter that's in the middle of the first name is how you operate from that center. And framed by the 2 twos says, I love being in a relationship and I'm still going to keep my own identity.
Oh, that's great.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Kat.
Okay.
Have a great day. And
Hey,
by the
eat
way,
some cake for me, okay?
oh,
My favorite dessert.
I'm full, I have to tell you, but the cake was wonderful. If you'd like to give us a call, you can 425-373-5527 or 888-298-5569. Now, when we talk about numerology and we talk about names, and you also talk about birth dates, are those two different things or are they related?
Well, they're related simply because it's numbers. But numerology, when you do it, it takes a little while to do it. I can't sit here just and do some. I can do somebody's whole name, but it would take too long, and the show wouldn't flow that way. But but I only use first names anyway. So there's many ways they achieve soul path, life path, challenges, gifts, all sorts of things when you do numerology. But I just do a quick counting of it by taking your birth day, month, and year. And anybody can do this. You take the day, month, and year, add them together, and then add up those numbers that, like, somebody may add up to...
well, here, do mine real quick.
Okay, what is it?
9/11/57.
9/11/1957. So you add those three together, and you get 7, carry 1, 5, 6, 7, 9. You get 1977. Yes, 1977. And then when you're doing numerology, a 9 cancels itself out because it's just a repeater number unless you've got a master number and it's adding up to 11. So the 7 and the 7 is 14 and the 1 is 15. And then you add the 1 and the 5 together and that's a 6. So your life path is a 6. You keep adding numbers and reducing them.
Very good. And so if it's a 6, what does that mean?
A 6 means partnershiping. It's a harmonic balance of, the Star of David pattern that's been in the sky?
Yes.
The big harmonic
The big one.
thingy that's going on.
Yes.
Okay. It's a Star of David pattern. A Star of David pattern is a 6, meaning you have a triangle whose point goes to the top, and then on top of it you have a triangle whose points goes to the bottom. It's the Star of David, the Hebrew symbol. And what it means is a complete balance. And this is an extraordinary symbol, by the way, because that triangle that points to the top these are old alchemical symbols that are coming together. I mean, thousands of years old. That's the symbol for fire. When you have a triangle whose point goes to the bottom, that's the symbol for female and water. And so you have, and the fire symbol is male. So it's male and fire, female and water. When you draw a line across the center of them, you have fire and air. And then across the female one, it's female, earth, water, and earth. So you have, when you put the two of them together and they do cross like that, it's earth, air, water, and fire.
Sounds like a rock group.
Hey, that's a good name. And male and female. And then usually there'd be a dot in the center or a circle around it, and that's God. So you have all of creation.
That's a 6?
That's a 6.
Wow.
I know, it's pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, it is. Hi, Eric, do we have somebody on the line?
We've got Sterling and Kirkland.
Sterling, how are you?
I'm doing okay. How are you guys?
Fine. How are you?
I'm doing okay.
Spell your name, Sterling.
Sterling.
Wow, I only know one other Sterling.
Wow.
Yeah. What's your middle name?
I don't. Well, actually, I do. I started to say I don't have one. I do have one now, and my middle name is Elizabeth.
Okay. So
although I don't use it at all.
Right. Good. Yeah, it's a completely different energy from Sterling. Okay. What's your question?
Well, Sterling is a name that was given to me many, many years ago. It is not my birth name, but I've had Sterling probably about half my life, and I'm 44.
Uh-huh.
And so you may have addressed this already. I just turned the radio station on not too long ago. But so when you change your name, what's the difference between your birth name energy and a name that you take on?
Your birth name energy recedes very much into the background.
Okay.
Very much. You may have said, look, I don't even want to deal with the challenges, or I've overcome those challenges at an early time. They're not going to be part of my life this time, and you set it aside. And you take on a whole different dynamic when you change that name.
Well, I haven't seen my natural mother and that side of the family for about 20 years, and I'm going to be taking a trip out there to see them.
Have you been dealing with your spiritual abilities?
Yes.
Because they're extraordinary.
Yes.
If you're not studying with a master, you should be.
Yeah. Well,
that sounds like I know I should be, but I'm not.
Well,
you're scared of them.
Yeah.
Okay, with reason. Because specifically with this name, that's why I said I've only ever dealt with this name one other time, but quite extensively. You have a tendency. What was your first birth name?
Cynthia.
Okay. Oh, yeah. So you got all those dad issues. Okay. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So.
Time.
It's time for you to get in touch with this in a very focused way. Your path is much more dynamic than you are aware of with your spirituality. The thing that scares you is that it would overwhelm you and that you would have a choice of putting out the fire with either alcoholism or drugs to keep it under control.
That's interesting that you say that, because life just dumped me into a whole new way of being last July, and I'm actually the only thing I have in my life now is my art and my spirituality. I'm not working. I'm not doing anything else. I'm just working on my spiritual path and my art. I sculpt and I paint. And
stay there.
Yeah.
Stay there and don't get into anything that is in any kind of an addictive behavior, because you need to put the energy into the spiritual side of you and develop it. And you need to be alone a lot. You need to do a lot of focused meditation, follow teaching or none. It doesn't matter, but you need to be going inside a lot.
I study Native American
I know.
Yeah.
Do you know who Rolling Thunder is?
Rolling Thunder. I think I've heard of that person. Rolling Thunder. It sounds very familiar.
Okay. As long as you're in the native path, you're really, really, really on your particular track. So pursue it. Travel if you have to. Take your art. Your art will start selling and be able to support you to some degree, but your art pieces are too big right now. Make smaller ones. Okay? And then you'll be able to sell them, and you can help support yourself. Even if you set up at fairs or whatever, you have an energy that will draw people to you. You need a drum if you don't have one.
Oh, I've got about 4.
That's what I thought. Okay, yeah. Make sure you drum a lot. It's your energy.
Okay.
Okay?
Can I ask you one more?
Sure
I know
can.
we spent some time.
Okay.
My birth date. I'd just like you to look at that for life path. Actually, you've just told me my life path, haven't you?
Yeah.
But
What's
I
your birth date? A 1?
It's silly to do that.
Okay, no. Let's see. There's got to be a 1. What is your path? What's your name? What's your birth date?
1/20/1959.
Okay. 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1.
I think my number's a 9.
Yeah, you're a 9. Yeah, that makes total sense. Which
Yeah.
a 9 life path means you go into really intense something rather than it's done and it's over, and you go into really intense something else and it's really big and it's done and it's over. And that would be normal for your life path. It had to be a 9
that's
or
the
a
way
1.
it's been.
Always starting,
So-
but you'll complete things, so it's okay.
How do I handle going back to my mother's family, who I haven't seen for 20 years, and they all call me Cynthia, and they're so resistant to anything else?
No, it's you that's resistant to not being called Cynthia. It's your resistance you have to deal with, not theirs. Let them call you whatever they want.
The name doesn't matter.
Be who you are.
Okay, that's what I thought. I thought, it really doesn't matter what they call me. I know who I am.
Exactly. And be
Okay.
that presence, and they'll begin seeing the shift, and then say, you can call me Sterling from now on. Or not.
Yeah.
Or not. It's okay.
That it doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
Just don't call you
That's
late
who
for
I am.
dinner.
Right.
That's right.
Okay, Sterling. Take care.
Okay, you've been awesome, Dolly. I absolutely love your energy. I can just feel it just like pouring out.
She's a
Incredible.
spark, I'm telling you.
You're incredible.
Sterling,
Thanks.
thank
So are
you
you.
so much.
Bye-bye.
you.
Have a great day. Dolly, how does somebody get a hold of you?
At 206-992-2074 or
We
my
have-
website,
And the website is?
www.dollymay, that's MAE.com.
We have one open line. Grab it now. We're going to be right back. Welcome back to Positive Talk Radio. My name is Kevin McDonald. We're talking with Dolly May. Dolly May is an extraordinary counselor, visionary, psychic, all-around good gal, a intuitive counselor is what we would call you, yes?
And that's what we would call me, a spiritual intuitive counselor. The acronym is SIC.
With the most beautiful itty-bitty tarot cards that you work with.
Yeah, aren't they fun?
Yes, indeed. And Eric, who's on the line?
We have got Jane in Marysville on the line.
Hi, Jane in Marysville. What would you like to know?
I'm recently divorced after like 18 years.
Hey, congratulations.
Thank you. And I'm just kind of all alone, type
Yeah.
of thing. Just my family lives back east. And
Hey, congratulations. You don't have to deal with family
that
stuff,
good?
and you're free. Okay, next.
yeah, I know. I don't like
But
to
you
go
think
back
it's a
there.
problem, but okay, fine. Go ahead.
I just want to know what, how my life, what's supposed to happen. I mean,
What's going to happen when you grow up, Mom?
Yeah.
You know what? Here's the
What?
scary part. You have so many options and so many choices and so much freedom that you would like me to tell you which ones to do.
That would be nice. I don't think anybody could do that, though.
Well, the thing is, you get to. You get to realize that this is your time to shine, that you do not need to be in a relationship, that you do not have to have other. One of the issues was control in all of your relationships, and either you were attempting to control it or they were controlling you. So now you have the freedom. I would recommend you literally sit down, and I just told this to another lady, but for you it's imperative that you sit down and start focusing all that scattered free thinking into a list of things that are the possibilities for you, because they're so out there, so numerous, so many choices that you are being overwhelmed by them and you feel like it's a burden.
Yeah.
And therefore you kind of want to run to harbor. Should I go back and be with my family? Well, I'm all alone. Maybe I should be with a mate. And then somebody could tell me a direction or a focus, or at least I'd have a thing to resist or a thing to go against so that I'd know what direction I should take and kind of like be channeled and directed. Stop it. You are free. You have choices. And it's time for you to say, you know what? I'm worth being able to do what I want. Life's going to be moving really fast for you. If you're not in a job, you're going to be... Oh, you're in a job, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And you do management. What's your middle name?
Susan.
Oh, yeah. You also have an ability to, I'll say this straight out, channel. Hear spirit. Now, that may be working through you with automatic writing. It might be using tarot cards or a pendulum, or just being able to hear things, or psychometry where you pick things up and touch them and you know. But you have doorways to explore. All right, and it's a very safe path for you because you know your limits. So you're not like going out of bounds and crazy and cuckoo about it, okay? You have a big initiation in front of you, which means a big shift that you're going through. If you sit and be present with feeling, being alone, and let it be okay. Feeling disconnected from other people, and let it be okay. Stop judging all these things. You're just used to the constant connection, the constant responding to, and you can let go. This goes for many, many of our listeners. That we get into these ruts of have-tos and shoulds, and you're not in that one anymore. You have a job that's very good. It totally serves your purpose. It gives you income and safety and security and has benefits, yada, yada, the whole thing. Okay, so you got that part taken care of.
Yeah.
Now go do the freedom part and create in your life what you would prefer.
Okay.
And that's the hard part, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, because the choices are so multitudinous. You go, what do I want to do? And you know what? It's time to play. So go do it.
Because there are two ways to look at that. There's so much pressure because there's so much that you got to do, and you don't know what to do. Or I can do anything I want.
That's right.
And I'm scared because there's so much to do. You know, pick one thing and go do it.
Okay.
It's your
Thank
turn.
you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for calling. Dolly, you're hot, hot, hot. That does open up a line, I do believe, but at 425-373-5527. Herrick, who's next?
We've got Vicki and Bothell on the line.
Hi.
Hi.
So what's your question, Vicki?
I've been dealing with medical, legal, financial issues for several years
time.
now.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering when things might shift. And I feel like I would need to give you my birth date.
Okay, what is it?
11/21/60.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
And I'm adding things up here. 9 and 1. Your life path is a 3, but it's a 21-3. Okay. And what's your middle name, Vicki?
Lee, Lee.
And how do you spell your first name?
Vicki.
Okay. Most of your life you've been playing a victim role. And it's time for you to stop it, because what you have been ignoring is the mastery that you have available to you in your life. You have incredible passion and incredible personal power, and you are actually letting it be drained away from you through dealing with all this legal kind of stuff. Okay? All the medical and the hassles and stuff. The issues that go on when you do that is that you must prove to the world, and thus to yourself, that you are a victim, so that your rescuer, the courts, can take care of persecuting the bad guys so that you'll be made whole. What that leaves you with is a consciousness as a victim. This is not healthy, and this is leading you down a path that is not in your highest and best interest. Now, you think it is because it's going to be monetarily rewarding in the end and all that kind of thing. But you're getting dragged into the whole thing. Settle. Be done with it. Get on with life.
And how do I move out of the physical aspects of what I'm going through?
Well, be with them instead of resisting them, for one. See, most times we get into a situation where we say everything that's going on with us is so bad and it's awful and I have to fix it and I'm broken and I got to get better and I'm not good enough. And Vicki, you are. You are using all of this drama and trauma, all of this hustle and bustle to hide your own personal power because it scares you.
So how do I bring the personal power forward and put this behind me?
Start choosing differently. Your whole focus right now is all of this stuff and the victimhood thinking and consciousness and awareness. Okay, let it be there. Let your champion, called an attorney, deal with it, surrender the whole thing, forget about it. Forget about its outcome. Forget about it. And tell the universe to take care of you. And get on with choosing what you'd prefer to have in your life and literally begin focusing on what you would like to have in your life. Like, how about joy? So every half hour, focus on joy. Be in joy. Literally, for a couple of minutes, sit down with girlfriends and literally sit around and create a fantasy kind of a thing. This is very powerful when you do this. You sit around with friends and you be silly. And you say, you know what? I am so happy that I've just won the lotto. And I am so happy that we're all going to go play for the whole rest of the day. And we're going to go on the Ferris wheel. And we're going to be silly. And we're going to have fun. And then your girlfriends will say, well, you know, I'm really happy because I just decided to take the whole whole month off, and I'm going to go play. And besides that, I'm really happy because there's this guy coming into my life that's really fantastic, and he's just my dream person. And I'm happy because all my spiritual gifts are coming online. Whatever. But when you say things like that, even though you're being silly, your subconscious starts feeling it because you enjoy working with it.
Uh-huh.
And pretty soon, you've got that magnetic energy out there, and you start magnetizing that stuff to you.
Right.
Because right now, you're magnetizing gunk to you. So just shift your focus. That's all.
Okay.
And it's so easy. It seems so hard, but it's so easy at the same time. Or it can be.
Yeah. It very much can be. It is an absolute conscious decision.
It's like, I feel like every day, I give it away, and it's not my responsibility to deal with, but then I feel like my feet are kind of stuck, too. It's like, it's not, the Spirit's taking care of all of this that's happening around me.
Well,
and then I feel like, but why am I not moving? And maybe I'm not supposed to be moving yet.
And maybe that is it, because a lot of times we get so confined and tamped down that it's finally, when we do break free, we have the energy to move us and impel us somewhere. Vicki, my book is called Choosing Joy in the Midst of Crisis, and I think it's something that you might like to read. It is available in libraries. It's available online. It's available at Amazon. It's available at Barnes & Nobles, and it's available on my website. And I think it's something that you would benefit from. And many other people.
Great.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for calling. Now, isn't it possible, because I hear that all the time, is that I'm manifesting my ass off, excuse the expression, and nothing is happening? Could it be that something is happening, but we're not recognizing it?
Yes, and it also could be that everything is in its own divine time, and that we think that there's a timeline, and we think there's an outcome, and that's where we're headed towards. And when it's not happening fast enough, we get frustrated.
And is it also possible that the outcome is already there? We're just not aware of it because we're in the process?
We turned the spigot off.
Now,
this isn't that it's our fault.
No.
It's that we moved into fear, and that's what turns the spigot off.
And you need to move back out of fear into joy.
Yes, choice. That's why I say choose again. Choose what you want to focus on.
Absolutely. We need to take a break, and we're going to come back right after this with more calls with Dolly May. Dolly, how can somebody get a hold of you again?
206-992-2074.
We'll be right back. Don't go away. Welcome back to Positive Talk Radio. We're with Dolly May. And Eric, we have someone on the line.
Yes, we do. We've got Margaret in Seattle.
Hi, Margaret. What's your question?
Yes, I have, actually, he's 13 now, a son that went through a health crisis last year. And...
Okay. And what was the health crisis, Margaret?
It was an eating disorder.
Okay. What's his first name?
I was wondering how I could help him deal with life.
Okay. I understand, and this is really an emotional thing for you. What is his first name, Margaret?
Well, Alex. He was named Alexander. He goes by Alex.
Okay. His issue is mainly that he doesn't have a sense of self-worth. He doesn't have a sense, almost like an identity, although you would think he would with a first name that begins with A, because he has a sense of presence. He just doesn't exactly know who he is, and feels like he needs to be defined by other people and by other people's opinions of how he looks, how he acts, how he talks. Is he extremely shy?
Somewhat, but not extremely.
All right. What's his middle name?
Zachary.
A and Z. How interesting. Alex and Zachary. How you can help him with his eating disorder?
Well, not with the eating disorder. He's pretty much, we were very lucky.
He's past that. Yeah.
He's pretty much through that, but just basically to help him deal with life, as he gets older.
Well, I will tell you one thing. When people have problems, others want to rush in and fix them. That reinforces a sense of victimhood consciousness. He's not broken, and he doesn't need to be fixed, but he does have a focus and a vision of himself as a problem. And that's the thing that needs to be turned around. So it's not like ignoring it, but it's kind of like if somebody were, if you had a child that was missing his legs, you would not have to treat him differently than other people, and you would have expectation that he figured out how to be the same, how to get along and use his difficulty or assets to create the same life experience for himself as other people. It's going to be different. Everybody has challenges. Everybody has gifts. So how can you take his challenges, and I think you could sit with him, and I'm sure he's gone through counseling, and determine what exactly his challenges are, and then take those challenges and see how they can be applied as gifts.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
So see him differently, in other words, and then help him see himself differently.
Okay.
All right?
Alrighty.
Is that all?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, well, thank you for calling.
Thank
and,
you
so much.
And take
Thank
care.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And Eric, let's go skipping to the next caller.
All right, let's talk to Catherine in Woodinville.
Hi, Catherine in Woodinville.
Hi, how are you?
Great. What can we do for you? What's your question?
Well, my question is this. I have spent most of my life trying things on, like, say, 2 years doing a real estate agent job, 2 years being a bartender, relationships 2 years, and each time at the end of it, it's, well, that wasn't it.
Good for you.
I have a ton of experience.
Well, good for
and
you.
It's all coming to play right now. I own my own business. I'm a personal organizer.
Right.
Well, do you think maybe all of those things were destined to help you get to where you are?
It's very, very possible. I just would like to feel now that I am on the right track, and I still have that question hanging out there. Am I?
Oh, you mean, is this finally the thing I'll be successful and long-term in?
Yes.
You hate stuckness.
What?
You hate stuckness. You want to be free to move and do things differently. Just because you shift and change doesn't mean that you're flawed. We have this silly perception in our reality, our world, our Western culture that says if you don't stick to a relationship, you don't have stick-to-itiveness. You can't make commitments. And we have all these bad metaphors for it, when in reality, you have the ability to choose freedom. You have the ability to make choices and rely on yourself, to move based on decision that you make for you. That is an extraordinary gift, and you are an incredible example to everybody that you come into contact with. Although they don't understand you, and oftentimes you may be put down because of it, they say things like, well, you have so much potential. Why can't you just develop that? Why can't you just stay with that business? And you're going, because something else was more interesting.
Exactly the truth. In fact, my mother has used those exact words.
Well, that's why Dolly's here. But I have to tell you, one of the things is that secretly a lot of these people are saying, I really wish that I could do that.
Exactly. It's like when you become wealthy, and I certainly have done that in my life. And when you become wealthy, you lose your friends because they think that you're being able to burst past the barrier of stuck in limbo land of money means that they have failed. And so their stuckness, their self-limiting is thrown in their face, and they want you to come back to that place of stuckness with them.
Because they're miserable. Why shouldn't you be?
And you scare them. Although
very interesting and true.
Yeah. So don't worry about it. You get to do your life, and they're dreaming about the life that you're doing.
That's kind of a relief to hear, actually.
Yeah, go for it.
Now, what do you do with a name like Catherine Inez? Does that have any certain significance for me?
Well, I would say you're highly intuitive, and that's one of the things where you intuit the next kind of path that you want to be on, and it's like you do it from a feeling place because you're really open on an emotional level that way.
Okay.
And you're very creative. The issue that you would have is getting codependent in relationships and then stopping your life and doing everything for the mate. And then finally you go, wait a minute, what am I doing? I can't do this. This doesn't work for me anymore. And you get out of it. Good for you.
Okay.
And we got to take another call.
Okay.
We're running out of time. So thanks for calling. And Eric, who's next?
We're going to go ahead and talk to Berta, who's in her car, presumably on her cell phone.
Yeah.
Hi, Berta.
Hi.
Hi. What's your question?
I was wondering what my purpose is.
To call this radio show whenever we want you to.
Okay.
What's your middle name?
My name is Berta Lucille Parker.
Okay, Lucille. Okay, Berta Lucille. Well, one of the things for you is to be in relationship because that's what you really like. Are you in relationship now? It doesn't feel like it.
My husband's in Kansas City.
Okay, so it's a long distance kind of relationship. All right. What is your purpose in life? You know, many people ask this, and they ask, what am I supposed to be here for? How am I supposed to? And the real question is, how am I supposed to be of service to other people? And I know you don't want to hear this answer, and nobody really wants to hear it, but your purpose in this lifetime is to be a light in happiness and in being love. That is the highest thing you can ever do in your life, is to be in joy and be the expression of that, because very few people hold the space for joy. So you get to do that yourself. Now, you're going to have to start choosing that, because you haven't been choosing that for yourself in a very long time. You think that your life's purpose is to do things for other people and to serve them, and it's not fulfilling to you, so you're going, well, something's missing, so I must not be on my life purpose. You haven't been paying attention to you.
That's true.
And that's what you get to do. You get to begin focusing on Berta. It is your turn, because nobody's ever going to shine the light on you or make it your turn unless you do. So make sure that at least on a daily basis, you're doing something for yourself. Okay?
It's like playing tag with yourself. You're it.
How about my number? I'm 8256.
8/2/1956. Your life path is a 4. So you stay at the support level of yourself, the structuring level. You don't want to make your life great, big, huge thing. You want to keep it kind of confined and controllable, and have a kind of a safe, easy, more simple, balanced life. You don't want to go crazy with power and control and all those kinds of things. So you're one of the core people that gets to be the base, not support the world, but be a support in it, an anchor in the world.
Berta, thank you very much. And we've got to go. We're running out of time. And we're going to take our last caller of the day, who is Eric.
Carla in Redmond.
Hi, Carla. What's your question?
I just was wondering, about 3 years ago, I decided to make a concerted effort to follow my spiritual path and to look introspectively and figure out what my purpose is and everything. And I've made a lot of effort and put a lot of stuff on the line to do this. And everything since then has blown up in my face. My entire life is falling apart. My health, my finances, my relationships, and I guess I'm feeling a little frustrated and wondering if I haven't made a huge mistake.
You did not make a huge mistake. It's just that as you started following your spiritual path, you realized that as you were shifting your own vibrations on your journey of self-awareness, that those things that had been in your life were not in alignment with that vibration. And though you didn't have the guts to quit the job, the guts to quit the relationship, because you were kind of like willing to put blinders on and say, I don't have to see that. Well, I don't have to see that. Well, I don't have to see that either. You finally moved your vibration to a place where you could see those things and said, it doesn't work anymore. So Carla, keep doing your path. And I would recommend meditations and prayer and those kinds of things for yourself. We're going to have to wrap up, so I'm going to have to say, you might call me later.
And go to her book, Choosing Joy in the Midst of Crisis. We'll see you tomorrow.
Hey, and thanks for listening to this episode all the way to the end. Hey, pretty cool. Hey, don't forget to follow us so you can receive regular updates and new posts. And remember, take care of each other, because each other's all we've got. See you next time on My Independence Report.